Alright, just wanted to record a quick follow-up following the New Year's Day update to Thera. I'll leave the feedback, and it's very minor for two things that I found up at the front, and then do any further theory crafting towards the end. First piece of, and honestly the only piece of obvious feedback, I have a bit of a half theorycraft, half feedback, but the clear piece of feedback I do have is surrounding these poles yet again. If these were only, located in these spawn points, then I would never bring this up. But because there is a pole on the B-bomb site right here, I do think it's probably necessary to at least discuss this. And it revolves around the clipping, or at least the modeling of the wall bangs that occur when you shoot in and around this pole. And I think it's because how it's outlined in whatever file it's on is very well constructed around these darker black pieces. You can be almost right up against it and it will not wallbang. It will not penetrate through on most cases. But in and around this yellow part, I believe it's taking the width of the black parts, because I was clearly not shooting at the yellow there and just wallbanging through. And I only mention this because I could very easily see like this being kind of an angle somebody wants to hold. And then if you shoot like right here, it will wallbang the pole and not, it probably won't kill them. I guess I could test the penetration values here. But regardless, it's so that's going to lower the damage to 64, which is not going to be a kill. So just thought I'd bring this up as something that you'd want to rethink. I know a lot of people just want this pillar gone, but if it's going to be here, I would assume that you do not want bullets wallbanging a non-surface. I'll transition now into a bit of theory crafting. This one has to do with, I don't know if this was possible exclusively after the window was widened, or regardless, if you get up on this potted plant, you can strafe far enough over to basically be like into the window, and because you can do that, you can see quite a bit over this wall. And I'll go ahead and spawn some player models back here. These are angles that I think people would have to willingly have to take this fight, because I don't believe you'll see this guy. But I guess it's worth clarifying. Get up on this potted plant. You can kind of clearly see this terrorist right here. And yeah, if you strafe over enough, you can see the CT. So there are some angles, and you can even see this guy's head right here, in front of the flowers. There are a lot of angles back there that this potted plant allows you to see. So I think this is maybe a good spot to take if you're opping and you're looking for maybe some early boosts, or maybe some CTs that are lining up utility for aggressive A takes, or maybe a CT that's just late to the bomb side after starting mid. This could be a spot that you could take somebody out on. Or, this is just a piece of feedback that maybe this potted plant needs to be moved over. Obviously, you can still jump spot this for this information, but shooting them is a whole other difference. And then the other piece of theory crafting half of the A site specifically right now is that this potted plant, you can use this to jump spots over this door, and you see quite a bit. You basically see everything except for behind the staircase right here. And you could use this just as a, they're, posturing towards B. I don't hear a whole lot towards A, and I'm just going to, take this one jump. I don't see any players, and then you can immediately transition this into, okay, well, if there's no one here, he's either behind this or he's behind this, and you can just take the clear one for one, and then you immediately kind of have the gates open towards a mid flank or a fast rotate towards B. So I think this could be used very much as, I think, the same way that overpass counter terrorists use the jump spots on B to see over into water. So I thought I'd bring that up. And then in the last video I had, I mentioned that this smoke exists, which is a W jump throw that flies into the club here and smokes off this window, or at least most of it. And I mentioned that I didn't think that you could find a rush deep smoke on the same lineup, but you can actually throw grenades to this, and I hadn't realized that. So, if you want to have a one-spot quick A rush, just have someone drop you a smoke, you can get into that same spot, throw this smoke, back up back into the corner, and this one's really generous, but this is also our running W jump throw binds at that corner. Probably aim a lot of different spots, it'll still hit, but it'll bounce down and land into the CT door smoke and smoke that off. So if you just want a one-person utility take for smoking off the rotation positions for A rushes, there you go. And the last part will have to do with the new aggro B option, because the last update added the door that denied this Molotov. Now it blocks that off, and instead of flying through and landing here to volley off B, you are no longer allowed to do that. So what I've basically thought about is with a good CT mid spawn. So let's just bounce around these mid spawns really fast. So obviously not that one, nor this one. But if you get like a spawn like this, for example, I believe if you are fast enough, you can get to, well, I'll just, show it off right now. This is 4 seconds, 5 seconds, shoot the window, do a crouch jump through, and you are already in the mid by 8 seconds here. The fastest T timing around this corner, especially on this angle, is more towards your 9.5, 10 seconds. Then around this would be 10 and 10.5. So you can get out middle pretty comfortably if you have protocols around sending your first CT out the mid window ASAP. And what that means, I believe, is that you can send this guy, shoot the window, immediately crouch jump out, and then don't hit your head, obviously, and then throw a Molotov, and then back up. And because the elevation of mid allows for you to kind of crouch behind, if you pair this up with an out-of-spawn mid-smoke, which I showed in the last video, have a second CT come out of spawn, throw that smoke, that'll land right at about 10 to 11 seconds. And that allows you to send the first guy out, throw the Molotov, get behind cover for the smoke to pop, and then you have the same guy who throws that smoke come mid-window and hold for that half a second, 1 second that the smoke hasn't popped, provide that cover, and then you have mid-smoked and B doors mollied in the same kind of way that you had it before, with a CT throwing a molly off of this peg into this corner. And you can still allocate the same amount of pressure towards B as before, while still allowing for this player, you could this Windows player flowchart could be jump out, throw this molly, immediately transition, play as careful as you need to around the smoke, obviously, so crouch, wait for the smoke to pop, but play as careful as you need, then immediately transition into what is effectively just an A main hold from this corner right here. So you really don't even need, you really aren't even cheating anyone towards this B hold if this player who jumps out mid immediately goes towards the A bomb site. So as far as B denial goes for CTs, I still think it's on the menu. It's a little bit more risky, and if the Ts are quite committed to this mid take, they could get away, or I think they could probably prevent it, and you can always smoke the Molotov. One final piece of that execute is that you can have one of your B site players just throw a simple flashbang over like this to blind any of the first T timings as they run up and try to take mid or cross towards B, and then have this player either run up here or run down there. There's a lot of ways I think that you can still deny B just because of the timing allowance that the CTs have into mid window. One final piece of utility that I thought I'd add on this video, and I'll be talking over a recording here because the lineup is quite particular and not consistent, nor is it fast enough out of spawn to deny the T cross timing. But I just thought I'd mention it. This was a Molotov that I theory-crafted was maybe possible, but it's incredibly strict, and like I said, the timing doesn't match up. But just in case somebody finds a better lineup in the future, this is technically possible to molly over this wall you can do.